Hey everyone. All right, Jay and I are getting really excited. We are about to, our heads are we are about to run our next round of Stemnonic Solutions. It's a 7-week online program. There are a few things that we want to share on this video. We started living this lifestyle about 3 or 4 years ago, and it has been such a massive game changer for our lives that we are so excited and passionate about giving other people access to this. So we originally were just going to run it in the office, and then we just wanted people to be able to tap into this wherever they are. It's changed our personal lives, our family lives, our careers, everything. And so we run the program. It's 7 weeks. It's all online. We use ketosis and fasting as tools, and I'm going to talk more about that in a minute, as ways to teach you. And the whole 7 weeks basically teaches you these tools that you can use for forever. 7 weeks is just the beginning. We teach you how to use them so that you can become what's called metabolically flexible. And basically what that means is, it teaches your body to run off glucose when you have access to glucose. We're all used to eating at this point, usually every couple of hours. So we rely on glucose in order to have energy or to feel good. Glucose runs out and then we need more. But it also teaches you how to run on fat so that when you don't have access to food or when you're fasting, because we're all now hearing all the health benefits of fasting. There's thousands of studies. It's rapidly growing in the scientific community, and I don't think it's ever going to stop because it's such an insanely effective natural tool. So when you become metabolically flexible, fasting becomes really, really, really easy. So we teach you the tools. We get you into this place by week 3 where you can hop into fasting easily. People notice the differences already in week 3. And then again, when you're in this program with the online support, the weekly coaching calls, the private Facebook community, access to us, you are in the group as long as you want to be. And one of the things too, I think that's important to mention about something like this is people hear the words ketosis and fasting, and I think they think restriction. But what's really neat about this is, again, you can use them as tools. And so what that means is that, if we have like cauliflower pizza one night, which we love pizza, it used to be regular pizza and we've just kind of cleaned it up along the years. We will eat many of them in our home. Kaya, who's 3, will have a whole one to herself, as will I. We basically fold the whole pizza in half, sometimes shove a salad in there and eat the whole thing. We know exactly what to do the next day to feel our best and to get ourselves out of kind of that like sugar coma that you feel maybe when you visit your family for the holidays, or if you have a wedding or a party or things like that. And I think that's really one of the best things out of this. So in a minute, I'm going to give Jason a chance here to talk, but I just want to touch on, as a mom, how this has personally changed everything for me. We run around like crazy and sometimes don't have, the opportunity for a sit-down meal for ourselves. And so I think for a lot of moms, that then looks like grabbing food on the go or eating, what our kids are eating, which may not always be the best food, unfortunately. That's a whole other topic. But, what this has done for me is it has gotten me to the point where I don't need to eat between meals. I don't want to eat between meals because I feel really good. And so it's made that part really easy. But what I like the best is I'm so happy. I'm so clear. I have so much energy. I'm so much fun for my kids. I come home from a busy day of work or traveling, like we're traveling so much now. I can drop right into life with my kids. We can have our dance parties. I can run around the yard and play with them. I don't feel sluggish or like those energy slumps that I used to feel when I was running off carbs and sugar. How about you? How has this changed things for you? Do you have anything to say?
No.
Sorry, I totally took that over.
So a couple things. One is that when people hear about fasting, I think they get nervous because if you've ever fasted before, whether on purpose or just by accident, sort of missing a meal, a lot of people feel that they crash, that they get dizzy, that they get lightheaded.
I used to get hangry.
Hangry.
Jay loved me between meals.
Yeah. So I think it's important to just note that the whole purpose here is to create what Melissa's talking about is metabolic flexibility, which means as you start burning fat and your body starts running on fat instead of glucose, you don't get that same effect. And that's really important to mention because I was also, first of all, I'm a recovering sugar addict, and my experience with fasting was very similar, like very low energy drops, definitely mood shifts if I wasn't eating. And so, but that's the whole purpose. The first few weeks, you're just building a background of being able to burn fat. As soon as your body starts burning fat effectively, you no longer get those same dips. You eat because you're eating, but you're not eating to manage your mood. You're not eating to manage your energy. Your mood and your energy are being managed through your body's ability to burn internal calories and fat calories. So it's a pretty magical transition that people go through. And like Melissa said, it takes about 2 or 3, 4 weeks, depends on each person. But as you transition through that process, you'll notice that your energy starts to come up, and then it just starts to become much more constant. And you get a lot less of these ups and downs. So, and so for me on a personal side, I would say, based on that, it's been a big change, like finally breaking free of my sugar addictions and not using food as a tool to manage my mood or to manage my energy levels, and being able to have a very full day at work, eating or not eating, or traveling and eating and not eating. We don't have to pack like 15 snacks. We're about to get on an airplane today. We're not going to pack like 15,000 snacks to make sure that we have enough food to get through, the next few hours. We're just going to, jump on a plane and not have to think about it, because, as we have food, we eat it and we burn those calories. And as we don't have food, we don't eat and we burn those calories. And either way, we feel really strong and really stable, the entire time throughout. So it's been a big shift for us in our mindset around it, in our and just in how we feel, every day.
It's funny, sometimes now we joke if we're traveling alone, this trip we're all going as a family, but when we travel alone, we fast and we get internet on the plane, and I swear we feel like we changed the world on that flight, because when you tap into the magic of fasting, and there are so many benefits, but one of my favorites is the mental clarity and like the, if studies show we use 10 to 20% of our brains, it's like you access 80% of it. Things become so crystal clear, the thoughts are flowing, things just happen so easily that now I understand why religious cultures have used it for thousands of years. Like if I have a lot of work I need to do, or if I'm really wanting to be creative and put out a lot of content, or, you writing your book, or if we have some challenges going on, we will fast, because the answers come so easily. And I feel that part of that, whether or not you're a religious person, it's that connection, whatever that is, connection to yourself, using more of your brain, not that extra static and noise that comes with pain and inflammation and food addiction and mood swings and hormone dysregulation, which all those things go away through fasting. It's one of the most effective health strategies. That's why you're just going to continue to see the science behind it. And guys, it's free. So we run this program, this 7-week program. We encourage people to grab a friend and hop in, because having someone either in your office with you, or your neighbor, or your spouse, just makes it even that much easier, because you're doing it together. We keep the price low, and you're in it for forever. We will support you as long as you want to be doing this. Again, we've been living this for years, and I learn something new every time we run the groups and every time in between. So we're constantly teaching you to get to know your body, to be able to push the limits further, whatever that means for you, whether it's, how far can you swing one way with like eating and indulging, and how quick can you drop back in? Or is it that you've got these massive career goals that you want to achieve, and oh my, has that impacted us? The last few years, our life has been pretty amazing as far as like setting goals and visions and dreams for our office, and spreading the word, and our amazing staff, and just having the energy and the clarity to have that come so naturally and easy has been incredible. So, if those are your goals, like this is just such an incredible way of life that we are so excited to run our next group and to help anyone that's interested tap into it. So
I think it's important also to say that again, they're all tools. So we use ketosis, which I'm sure you've all heard about at this point. Ketosis isn't necessarily like what you're supposed to do every day for the rest of your life, and fasting doesn't mean you're just never going to eat again. It's we're using certain tools to make things change inside your body, and then what you need to do to maintain the changes and what you need to do to make those changes happen in the first place are always very different. And so we're going to use a strategy to basically jump you into fat burning so that we get that process going, and then teach you multiple strategies over the 7 weeks so that you have ways of creating variety in your life. Eating needs to be looked at much more like exercise than anything else. And so sometimes we find like the diet and we're like, oh, it's working. And you could change your diet any way you want. You could become a vegan for like 4 to 6 weeks. You'll see some changes. But after that, we sort of plateau. Or you could be, keto for 4 to 6 weeks and you'll make some changes and then you'll plateau. And the reason for that is that your body requires variation in food the same way it requires variation in exercise. And so the goal of this program is to jumpstart your fat burning, to kick your metabolism back into track, to help you detox and get your hormones and all those kinds of things that Melissa was just talking about back under control. But it's also to teach you variation so that you have an ongoing plan, not for the next like 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 6 weeks or 8, like for the rest of your life. Oh, it's time for me to do this version for the next few weeks. Oh, okay, now it's time for me to do this version for the next few weeks. Oh, I was a little off because of holidays. Now this is what I do to get back. And it creates a rhythm in your life, whichever ones you choose for yourself, but it helps you create a rhythm that allows you to be in, stay in, and keep those patterns going so that you can maintain those benefits forever.
That's part of what's so fun too. In the Facebook group, we have a private Facebook community, and there's people in there that were with us in our first round a while ago, and then there's obviously the new group every time. And it's so neat to watch, the people that are continuing to change things up with support and knowing exactly what to do. And okay, I'm traveling and this is what I'll have access to. We're going on a cruise. We have a conference on a cruise. So like, what is that going to look like for us? And how are we going to, allow ourselves to have things that we want and then also jump back in, or, stay healthy and come back sharp the way that we want. So it's continuously figuring things out so that you can live your best life, whatever that looks like. So super pumped, love teaching with this guy too. We have fun together. So we'll have the website posted below. You guys can find out any information on there, and we're super excited to have you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.